Now, I'm not saying that this is every single designer doing this, but a predominant number of people do this. And so we'll talk about the landscape as it is, and then that will segue into what can be done. Of course, these are all potential ideas. These are based on my experience building, $1 million design business from scratch twice over. So the first thing is, in terms of leads, in terms of sales, most designers at the moment, I'm sorry to say, don't have a sales funnel. They don't have sales. Now, this is nothing, of course, this is not an epiphany, but it's also the mindset. Creatives look at themselves as creatives, creators, but not as salespeople. And, I've been unofficially coaching and mentoring people in the design community. And 8 out of 10 times, when I bring up the topic of, okay, what kind of a sales funnel do you have? They're very uncomfortable. They clearly, you can see it, physical discomfort. They don't want to talk about that topic. And that's because I think as designers, as creators, we have this internal mechanism that really puts us on a pedestal. We are creative. And of course, as history shows us, creatives were creatives. They were the people at the top of the food chain in terms of intellectual stimulation, intellectual execution of anything. And therefore, I think it's ingrained in our minds that, I'm sorry to say this, but we're better than, let's say, sales or marketing. And of course, it's not intentional. We're not, as designers, we don't intentionally think that, but it is there. So first thing we need to address is that we suck at sales. Therefore, as much as we create, we must learn how to sell. And I'm guilty of this myself in the sense that, yes, I know how to sell in our agency, but personally, I don't know how to sell myself, which I'm changing now. So going back to what does it really mean to sell? There are only three pillars to that, three kind of pieces to that. Number one, designers don't have an offer. Number two, designers don't have a sales funnel. And number three, designers don't market. So what does it really mean? Let's talk about the offer part. You are a designer. You create lots of designs. You have a portfolio. You have a website. And then you're spending a lot of your time on social media, mostly dealing with other designers, engaging with other designers, whether it's on Dribbble or Behance or, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram. You're posting your stuff. You're looking for some feedback. You're giving your feedback to designs, and you've considered that as marketing. Unfortunately, that is not marketing. So going back to offer, what is it? What do you offer really? Designers offer, you ask 9 out of 10, sometimes even 10 out of 10. They say, oh, I offer logo design. I offer, identity design. I offer website design. I offer brochure design. They offer design. That means their skill as it is, but not the problem that their skill solves. Now, of course, a lot of designers are aware of that, but being aware and executing on that is where the difference starts. That's where your story begins. As long as you're offering your skill as a skill, saying, I'm a logo designer, therefore I design logos, or I'm a website designer, therefore I design websites, you don't have a funnel. You don't have an offer. You don't have marketing. Okay, so an offer is the fundamental, it's the atomic element of your business. As a graphic designer, freelancer, single person, solopreneur, whatever you want to call it. Even if you have a team, it doesn't matter. You as the stakeholder, you as the boss, as the owner of your own agency. And I like to call every single graphic design business as an agency. Traditionally, agency is these big companies with huge accounts. They charge $100,000 for a logo. Actually, agency just means an independent power, right? That's what, when you say someone doesn't have an agency, when you're talking in general conversation, when you say, for example, children are given agency in that school, what that just means is that children are given the freedom to express, they're given the power, they're empowered. Therefore, I think any graphic designer that is trying to, change this world is an agency. So start there. Coming up with an offer is turning your skill into problem/solution. So your offer should not be, I'll create 6 logo concepts or I'll create 2 web design concepts. Of course, they will be part of the specifics, the specs of yours. So they go below the fold. On the top of the fold is, what is the problem you're solving? Now, when it comes to design, most people say, yeah, I mean, companies need logos, company needs websites. Yes, but for what? So keep asking the question, why or what you're offering. Of course, 2 different things. The first is the why. Why are you offering this design service? You're offering it because that's the skill you have. Okay. Is that the only skill you have? Okay. Why do you have that skill? You see what I'm saying? So keep asking yourself, question yourself why till you arrive at something that cannot be broken down further. At the end of the day, most of the time, the first attempt at this, you will arrive at a stage where you are saying, why do I do this? Because I need money. And that's okay. That's the first pass at it. Put that aside. Go back. Start again. Choose different options this time. Why? Okay. Once you do that, the second thing is what? What is it that I'm offering? Design. Yes. Okay. What is a logo though? What is a website? What is a design? So to not really harp on too much about it, I hope you get the sense that your offer is the most fundamental thing. And your offer is not the number of concepts. No, that is the specifics of your offer. Your offer is what value. And when you're only having your design specs as a part of your offer, that is where the problem starts. Not leads, not marketing. Because once you have a good offer, an irresistible offer, then you understand, okay, this is what I need to message to get people to accept this offer. This is whom I target. People don't really know what they want. And Steve Jobs, he proved that by creating stuff, and then people realize, oh, because think of it, the iPhone, right? No one was asking for a phone without keys. No one said that. No one said, we want a phone without keys. So, and Ford said the same thing. When his car came out, it was like, if you ask people, they would have asked for faster horses. But he said, forget about faster horses. What else? So this is essentially reframing your business. You don't worry about the general trends there. Don't worry about what other people are saying. Don't even worry about what other designers are saying and how they're selling their services. It does not matter. Think only about yourself and your frame of mind. What are you looking at your service as? What are you looking at it as? So your offer should be that. Your offer should, it should be an irresistible offer in the sense that you're providing a value beyond design. So that offer for a logo design, now of course it's broken down into the atomic level. A logo design is a logo design, and it has one single purpose. At least in the minds of the customers, is just to be the face of it, right? And sometimes it's even like just a requirement because it's a placeholder. I need to create a Twitter channel, therefore I need the logo to insert in there, or so on and so forth. And I need a website, and creating awareness of that disconnect for your audience. Your offer should bridge that disconnect, the disconnect between logo being just a graphic representation, but logo being the message bearer. Now, I know a lot of people are doing that, and they might say, oh, well, we say, that your logo is more than just design. No. I'm talking about a part of your offer where you explore that disconnect for the client. Now, in our agency, we've made tons and tons and tons of money purely by adding that additional element. Now, it's not possible for everyone to, of course, if you're a fledgling kind of designer, you're just coming up and coming, you're superbly talented with design, but perhaps don't have the breadth of experience to talk to a client and say, all right, you know what is the bottleneck? What is it that you're trying to do with your business? Even though, of course, you're just creating a logo. So to simplify, I know I'm talking a little bit of theory there, but to directly address your question, I would say a good offer, of course, there are many, 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 many kinds of offers, and this is not the only one. A good offer is where you're not really providing a design, but you're providing a solution. Therefore, your offer should be constructed out of bullet points that each address one of the pain points of the customer, not how they would use the logo, right? So how many designers out there include a benefit of the logo as being able to increase your what do you call that? Invoice conversions. Invoice conversion is it's in our offer. It's in our proposal that we send, and invoice conversion is actually a big thing. Customers love that. They understand that when we say our logo, we'll create you a logo. That's not just going to be pretty, just sitting on the website. No, 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 no. We're talking about a logo that when people see it, when you send them an invoice, and of course we talk about marketing also when they come to your social media channel, blah, blah, blah. But those are more obvious ones. I'm talking about one simple example, and it's one out of many. Now, a lot of designers must be shaking their heads and saying, well, you know what, Mash? Yes, we do, but that's not really going to push the needle. Believe me when I say it pushes the needle. It's, of course, how you say it. It's not isolated. Your offer is just a starting point, and I'll get to the other pillars that's going to. So packing value into your offer beyond the tech specs should be your primary concern. And this includes what benefit would the logo bring your customer? Think hard and long. Think hard and long. What benefit? Yes, the beauty, the aesthetics, the trust. It makes you look like a Fortune 500 company. All those things, the cliches have been used and used and used. It is up to you. I cannot tell you, not on this podcast, neither, even if it's direct coaching, I cannot tell you to say, okay, you need to put this. No, you need to dig deep and say, what is it that I believe that I can then put into words that I think this will. If you don't believe anything and you say, you know what, I really don't know. I just think this is a logo. Then you know what? Forget your offer. You need to reframe your own mind. So you need to go back into a deep dive, unpack yourself and say, why are you doing this? That's why I said when you start with an offer, you start with your why. Because you need to understand, first of all, if it is just a graphic, it's like any other, and that's why it becomes a commodity, and that's why you are a commodity, and that's why you're looking to reduce your prices, and that's why you're not getting sales. You're going on gigs, you're going on Upwork or whatever, or you're going on Instagram hoping somebody will catch eye of your beautiful designs, and that's why at the end of the day you're not able to pay your bills. You're frustrated. You're even thinking of giving up graphic design, doing something else because of the why there. Now, yes, Simon Sinek made why famous. Everybody talks about why, but I'm telling you in a brutally honest way that your why is not the fluffy thing, go global purpose, I want to change the world. Forget that. Yes, those are required. Good, vision, mission, fine. But for yourself, in a dark room, you're sitting by yourself, hopefully in a Zazen posture, which is what I did and what I do, and say, let me be honest with myself. Just me, no one else. I'm not talking to anyone else, not even my coach, not even my mentor, just to myself. Honestly, am I doing this just so that I can pay the bills? Okay, if it is, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but at least you need to start there. Then say, okay, can I do this, designing a logo, for something more than just the bills to pay? What do I care? Do I have compassion for my clients? I'll be honest with you. I'm going to say something which a lot of people won't like it, but for designers, for creators, clients are really, they're really enemies. Okay. And don't worry, I will get back to your question, but it is not a simple question. It's not, it's got a lot of depth. So let me explore the depth of it. Okay. For a lot of designers, customers, clients are really enemies. What do I mean by that? Okay. So a designer is sitting there waiting for his next lead. He gets an inquiry. Someone sees his work on Behance, or any other channel. They send him a message. Oh, I like your particular work you did for this client. I need some help. Can we? Okay, so they go through that proposal process, whatever, till that client pays, till the designer gets an email from Stripe or PayPal or whatever saying, ching, $750 deposit from so-and-so for this logo. Till that time, this designer is in a hopeful, prayerful, very generous mindset because he or she wants that sale. Once that comes in, there's a change in attitude. And as the project progresses, it gets worse and worse and worse. I'm not saying all designers, but a lot of designers. And there'll come a stage where they actually hate the client because they didn't do a lot of things that should have been done during the proposal, during the pitching, during the pricing, during the offer, during the sales process, during the onboarding, during the design process, which is communication, during the presentation. And ultimately, if you ask hand on heart, Many designers will say that 80% of their clients, they hate them because they're unreasonable. They ask this, they don't like the designs. They might ask for a refund. They're constantly in fear of this refund process, this refund thing. In fact, most designers don't have refund. And please note that down, because that is a point I want to talk about in depth, and how that single point increased our revenues 30%. And I'll tell you how. Okay, so going back to the offer, think through and find within yourself a reason that goes beyond just that it is a beautiful graphic. I can design a better logo than somebody else, or my logo, the logo I create for you will bamboozle your clients or will make you look good. All these things are cliches. Customers they're desensitized to all that, because everywhere they see, including AI, beautiful designs everywhere. So you saying beautiful design, no one cares. You saying unique design, no one cares. You saying a design that communicates your message, okay, they do care, but it's still, everyone is saying that. No one would say that they would create a design that will not talk to your audience. So that is also gone. Strategy, that's a word that's being thrown around by everyone and their dog these days. And I'm seriously in the process of removing that from my vocabulary, from even my title. I still have it, yes, but it's going to go. In the near future, it's going to go, because everyone is talking about strategy. And again, something else I'll say right now, people won't like. Strategy has become something that strategists, such as myself, are making money off teaching others how to do. Strategy by itself has no inherent value at the moment. Designers learning strategy hardly ever make more money out of that. They could go to courses, they could get certified as a strategist, makes no difference. Very few of those people who actually get certified as strategists know what to do with it and then incorporate that into their marketing and capitalize on it. The rest, 80%, 90%, I dare say 95%, they just take a course. They would have spent $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, whatever they'd spent, and that's about it. And they have a fancy title. Actually, that title ends up being a liability for them now, because now they, again, going back to the mindset, now they think of themselves as strategists without really knowing what the hell strategy is. And now they can't stoop down to the level of saying, listen, I'm going to design your logo. So when you're making an offer, be careful. I'm not talking about false perspectives. I'm not talking about making a fanciful offer that has bells and whistles, talks about strategy, talks about positioning, buzzwords. No. Yes, you may get a sale. People will, instead of paying you $1,500 for your logo, you might be able to get $3,000. Fantastic. But your threshold of refunds, threshold of cancellations, and bad reputation, those amount a lot more. So going back to answering your question, add things to your offer that you truly believe will add value to the client, and look at reframing it. Think car, not faster horses. Think touchscreen and not, minimizing the number of buttons or whatever it is the alternative was. If I were to sell logo design today, it's unfair because my offer would be different because I'm an advanced strategist. So a young designer, or I don't mean young in the sense age, but a struggling, fledgling designer should not take my example. Yeah, that's another thing. Okay, let me talk about that for just a second. Do not look at successful designers and emulate or copy their sales funnels, their messaging, their marketing. Please don't do that. It's just like how a small business may have $10,000 for marketing budget, and then they go online and they look at Wendy's, or they look at, Nike's ad or something that stimulates them and say, oh, wow, that is so fantastic. Let me do the same, because you have limited resources. So what you need to be doing with your 10,000 is not an ad with one word in it. It might be the greatest word ever. And you're trying to motivate your audience and hoping that your audience will be motivated. They see how clever you are, and then they come and buy from you. No, your 10,000 should be spent purely for generating sales. So spend that on ads, meaningful, mindful, intentional, educated ads, not throwing it into a gambling roulette. But just like that, as a designer, it's great to look at, people like Ian, logo geek, or Jacob Cass. There's many designers out there that are popular. They're influencers. But don't look at them and try and emulate what they're doing in terms of offers, in terms of messaging, because they are big companies. They are already movers and shakers in that market. And what they're doing works for them. And sometimes not even for them. If you ask them hand on heart, they'll probably tell you, yeah, you know what? I'm constantly struggling with my message. Even the biggest influencers out there, they don't have it all figured out. One day I can be Logo Geek. Yes, you can be Logo Geek, but not by doing what Logo Geek is doing today, but by doing what Logo Geek did 10 years ago. And the consistency and all that. So positioning, yes, you need to position yourself. So segueing from the offer, my next thing would be to say is niche down.